Finding a job is an important step in life, but job interviews can be stressful, especially if you have to speak in English. Today, we will follow the story of Michael, who has a job interview for a marketing position. Along the way, we will learn useful phrases and answers to common interview questions. Listen carefully, repeat after me, and let's practice together. Michael arrives at the office 15 minutes before his interview. He checks his suit, takes a deep breath, and walks to the reception desk. "Good morning. My name is Michael Carter. I have an interview at 10 a.m. with Ms. Johnson." The receptionist smiles and says, "Good morning, Mr. Carter. Please take a seat. Ms. Johnson will be with you shortly." Michael sits in the waiting area. He feels a little nervous, but reminds himself, "I have prepared well. I can do this." After a few minutes, a woman walks up to him and says, "Hello, Michael. I'm Sarah Johnson, the hiring manager. Nice to meet you." Michael stands up, shakes her hand, and says, "Nice to meet you too, Ms. Johnson. Thank you for having me. Imagine you are at an interview. How would you introduce yourself to the receptionist?" Ms. Johnson leads Michael to her office and gestures for him to sit down. She smiles and says, "So, Michael, tell me a little bit about yourself." Michael takes a deep breath and replies, "Sure. My name is Michael Carter, and I have 5 years of experience in marketing. I have worked with different companies to create advertising campaigns and improve brand awareness. I am passionate about digital marketing and helping businesses grow." Ms. Johnson nods and says, "That's great. Why do you want to work for our company?" Michael responds, "I have always admired your company's creativity and innovative approach. I believe that my skills in social media marketing and data analysis would be a great fit for your team." Try introducing yourself in English. What would you say about your experience and skills? Ms. Johnson looks at Michael's resume and asks, "Can you tell me about a successful project you worked on?" Michael thinks for a moment and then says, "Of course. In my previous job, I led a campaign that increased our website traffic by 50% in 3 months. I worked closely with the design and content teams to create engaging advertisements and improve our SEO strategy." Ms. Johnson, Ms. Johnson smiles and says, "That sounds impressive. What are your strengths?" Michael replies confidently, "I am creative, detail-oriented, and a great team player. I enjoy solving problems and coming up with new ideas to improve marketing strategies." Think about your strengths. How would you describe yourself in an interview? Ms. Johnson then asks, "What is one of your weaknesses?" Michael knows this is a tricky question, but he is prepared. He says, "Sometimes I focus too much on small details. However, I have learned to manage my time better and prioritize tasks effectively." Ms. Johnson nods and says, "That's a good answer. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Michael replies, "I see myself growing in this company, taking on more responsibilities, and becoming a senior marketing manager. I am eager to learn and develop my skills further." Think about your weaknesses and future goals. How would you answer these questions? Ms. Johnson then asked, "What are your salary expectations?" Michael responds professionally. Based on my experience and industry standards, I'm looking for a salary between $50,000 and $60,000 per year. However, I am open to discussion. Ms. Johnson smiles and says, "That sounds reasonable. When can you start?" Michael replies, "I'm available to start in 2 weeks." How would you discuss salary and availability in an interview? Ms. Johnson stands up and shakes Michael's hand. "Thank you for coming in today, Michael. We will contact you soon." Michael smiles and says, "Thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you." As he walks out of the office, he feels relieved. He knows he did his best. Now, he just has to wait for the results. Imagine you are leaving an interview. How would you thank the interviewer? Now, you know how to have a job interview in English. Here are the key phrases you learned today. Good morning. My name is. I have an interview at. Tell me about yourself. I have X years of experience in. My strengths are. One of my weaknesses is. My salary expectation is. Thank you for your time. Practice these phrases every day. The more you use them, the more confident you will feel in your next job interview. Thank you for practicing with me today. See you in the next lesson.